Salut Marco? Unadu. King Bob!
Universal's shaking things up with its animated movie lineup, and while Shrek fans might be crying, and no, not over onions, but because of the delay, it's all systems go for Minions 3, and we've got everything you need to know about the upcoming film right here. Big news for Illumination fans. Minions 3 is racing ahead and hitting theaters nearly a
Salut Marco? Unadu. King Bob!
Universal's shaking things up with its animated movie lineup, and while Shrek fans might be crying, and no, not over onions, but because of the delay, it's all systems go for Minions 3, and we've got everything you need to know about the upcoming film right here. Big news for Illumination fans. Minions 3 is racing ahead and hitting theaters nearly a year earlier than expected, now set for July 1st, 2026, instead of June 30th, 2027. But wait, there's gotta be a catch, right? Well, if you're a Shrek fan, then yeah. The downside is that Shrek 5 is being bumped to a holiday release on December 23rd, 2026, after originally being slated for July 1st, 2026. Now, we're not exactly over the moon about this, but don't worry. Illumination isn't leaving any gaps. CEO Chris Meledandri is shifting an untitled project from March to fill the vacant June 30th, 2027 slot, locking down the prime Independence Day weekend for Illumination through 2027. The Despicable Me franchise is still running circles around the competition since its 2010 debut, and those little yellow chaos makers aren't slowing down anytime soon. The first Minions spin-off crushed it at the box office, raking in a jaw-dropping $1.159 billion globally, while its sequel, Minions: The Rise of Gru, brought in a casual $940.2 million and snagged the franchise's best domestic numbers. Then there's Despicable Me 4, which basically reminded everyone that we're just living in the Minions world by pulling $969 million worldwide. With over $5 billion total in the bank, this is officially the highest-grossing animated franchise ever. Illumination really is just going to be the Mario and Minions factory from now on. And to be honest, with stats like that, we can honestly see why. As for Minions 3, details are pretty scarce, but let's be real, it's almost guaranteed to dominate the box office. Franchise OG Pierre Coffin is back to direct and of course voice those lovable little yellow characters. Brian Lynch, who wrote The Secret Life of Pets and the first Minions, is returning to handle the script, so this is shaping up to be a proper Minion reunion. Chris Meledandri will produce, of course, joined by the Super Mario Bros. Movie executive producer Bill Ryan. Whatever they're cooking up, you know it's going to be bananas. So, Minions 3 is keeping its cards pretty close to its chest, but let's play detective here. We could be looking at another wild adventure with Gru and Wild Knuckles after he faked his death. Another idea that could work is that Minions 3 could link the prequel series to the original Despicable Me films. Remember that mid-credits scene in Minions: The Rise of Gru, where Dr. Nefario shows Gru an airship that looks just like the one we see later in the timeline? Yeah, that could be a clue. What if Minions 3 picks up closer to the events of the first Despicable Me movie? It'd bring the whole thing full circle and tie everything together in a pretty cool way. We could also see the movie take a different route that takes a deep dive into Gru's teenage or young adult years. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they tossed him into villain school. You know, the one we saw in Despicable Me 4. That could actually be a pretty fun angle, seeing Gru trying to figure out how to be the best villain with a bunch of other misfit students. And if they go the high school route for Gru, don't be shocked if we get to see more of Maxine and his girlfriend Valentina. I'm here for the expansion of these characters, especially if they give us some solid backstory or fun moments with them. Basically, whatever they decide, I'm sure we're in for a mix of chaos, slapstick, and the usual Minion madness. Got any wild theories or ideas you'd love to see in Minions 3? Drop them in the comments. We're all ears. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more awesome content. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.